Guys, Tweak back again for the Mulligan. I've got another Magic the Gathering Booster Tutor to do with you today, going through that Aether Revolt set again, just so that we can get as much sort of information in these packs as we can. So let's get stuck straight in. So I've been drafting a lot, and I mean a lot, and I've been having a lot of fun doing it too, so definitely want to keep sharing this with you guys so that we can keep improving. So our first card is a Precise Strike. It costs 1 red, happens at instant speed, and gives target creature +1/+0 and first strike until end of turn. So not a bad combat trick there. If you're in red, it's an alright grab, but it probably won't be our first pick. Next up, we've got Hinterland Drake. So he's a 3 cost, 2 colorless and a blue, 2/3 that has flying, but he can't block artifact creatures. So not a bad card there with the flying mechanic. Gets really sort of underrated in draft, maybe not at your LGS, but I really feel like in a limited format things like flying will really take off, ignoring the pun there guys, so not a bad card. Next up we've got Evasion, so it's 1 white, instant speed, and you get to choose one of 2 options, so either target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, or return target creature you control to its owner's hand, so not a bad card there. Some utility for your Revolt decks, in that you can have this early to return a card to your hand, or sorry, to return a creature card in particular to your hand to get that Revolt trigger off without actually losing that creature, or later in the game it's a neat combat trick with that +1/+2. Next up we've got Aether Revolt. So he's a 3/3 for 4, 3 colorless and a green. When he enters the battlefield he gives 2 energy, and then when he attacks you may pay 2 energy. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. So Aether Revolt seems to have sort of gotten the rough end of the stick in that all the other sort of color creatures that have give 2 energy, pay 2 energy to create a servo seem to get a keyword with them. Like the red one gets first strike, the blue one has flying. Aether Revolt seems to sort of have been left out there in that he's just a 3/3 for 4, but he hasn't been given anything like trample or the ability to be a mana dork or anything like that. So he probably wouldn't be an early pick for me. Next up we've got Renegade's Getaway. So it's a 3 cost instant speed spell that's 2 colorless and a black. Target permanent gains indestructible until end of turn. Create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. So if you're in black and you're sort of running vehicles, it does say target permanent, so if you know that they're going to really hate on your vehicles there, not a bad card there. You also get the servo that you can use to crew. Outside of that, you can just use it on your creatures to have some really good combat steps, and getting that 1/1 blocker as well, so not a bad card there. A little pricey at that 3-drop slot though. Next up we're looking at Silk Weaver Elite. So it's a 3-drop 2/2, 2 colorless and a green to have reach, and the Revolt trigger there that says when Silk Weaver Elite enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So not a bad sort of trick there to replace itself in that drawing card mechanic, or if you've lost a creature you'll be able to pick up another creature by using that Revolt trigger hopefully. Next up we've got Renegade Map. So it's a 1 cost Renegade Map enters the battlefield tapped, and you can tap it and sacrifice it to search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. So very good mana fixing there. I've been experimenting with going into 3 colors at the moment, so I'm always looking for cards like this to help me fix my mana, but also interesting enough, this helps you trigger your Revolt, so a bit of utility in this card, not a bad pick. Next up we've got Destructive Tampering. So it's a 3 cost sorcery, 2 colorless and a red. Has choose 1, destroy target artifact, or creatures without flying can't block this turn. So again, utility is sort of the name of the game, and that you can use this to get rid of your opponent's vehicles or other pesky artifacts, or you can use this for a big swing and sort of keep some of your opponent's creatures off you, especially if you're going up against like a blue or a white deck. Where they might have a few of those flying creatures, especially if they've kept them back on defense. This can really sort of swing the game for you. So next up we've got Prizefighter Construct. He's a 5-drop 6/2, so a little bit expensive there, and you really would have to sort of enchant this guy to get some good utility out of him. You'd want to be giving him something like First Strike or Double Strike, just so he can keep himself alive at that 5 cost. Does trade with things really well, but again, if you're going to invest 5 mana into something, you probably don't want to be just trading that thing off with their big bomb. So it probably wouldn't be a first pick from me, but would be looking for it to come back around. Next up, so first for our uncommons, we've got Foundry Hornet. So he's a 4-drop, 3 colorless and a black 2/3. Has flying. When he enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. So pretty powerful card for those +1/+1 green-black decks. Really sort of hurts you, especially if they cast this main phase 2 and you've made a few bad trades. Or you can also use this to wipe out servos, so bit of utility there from him. Flying is always fantastic as well. Next up, we've got Renegade Wheelsmith. So he's a 3-drop, a colorless, a red and a white. He's a 3/2, and whenever he becomes tapped, target creature can't block this turn. So not bad if you're in that vehicles mechanic already. Probably don't want to pick this and try and build around it though, because the tricky thing with Kaladesh and Aether Revolt is vehicles go into every deck reasonably well. So the quality vehicles you're probably not going to see much of. But when he becomes tapped, so this includes when he attacks, target creature can't block, so not a bad card there. And our final uncommon is Hungry Flame. So it's a 3-drop instant speed, 2 colorless and a red. Hungry Flame deals 3 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player. So very good card there in that you can deal with one of their threats and you can deal some damage to the face as well. So if you like red, I'd probably be grabbing this. Now, rare for the pack is Aether Geode Minor. So he's a 2-cost 3/1, colorless and a white. When he enters the battlefield, he generates 2 energy. You can pay 2 energy to exile Aether Geode Minor, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So this card, it's a little tricky to sort of use. It's good for the Revolt triggers, but you probably want to be looking to get your Revolt triggers somewhere else. Because paying the 2 energy to put this card back into your hand, you want to be able to resolve it in your main phase 2. Just so that when your turn rolls around again, you can attack with it, generate that 2 energy again, and then be ready for another Revolt trigger. It's interesting to sort of test your opponent with this card too. You can swing in knowing that you've got an out in returning this card to your hand and just see how they block, but I probably wouldn't be grabbing this one too early either. We do have a foil for this pack. It's Yahenni's Expertise. So it's a 4-drop, 2 colorless and 2 black. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So nice card there in that for 4 you get to sort of potentially wipe your opponent's board, but remember also your own, because it's all creatures get -3/-3, and then you get to resolve something. So say you've got your next sort of swinger there, you can use this to wipe out your opponent's creatures and then, you know, drop something to defend yourself with immediately. So not a bad card there. We've also got a Plains and just the Frano card.
Hey guys, my pick for this pack is going to be Yahenni's Expertise. Now, honourable mentions to Hungry Flames and Renegade Map, and if you think you're going to be playing a Revolt style deck, then you probably want to grab the Renegade Map over Yahenni's Expertise, but passing such a powerful piece of removal, I just can't go past this one, guys. Now, it's excellent in that it'll give everything -3/-3, but it also lets you follow up with a creature or spell of your own that costs 3 or less, so lots of good stuff in black at 3 or less, like Gifted Aetherborn and that kind of stuff. So a great way to sort of reset the field in your favour. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.